Yes, it's correct. I manifested a cabin out of thin air in less than 6 months. And what I'm about to show you, the story I'm about to tell, talks about exactly how we went from buying a lot, wanting to build a cabin, to actually owning the cabin next door. And what I don't explain clearly in this video, but what you need to know is the way that I systematically did that came from having a clear vision and came from reading and visualizing that vision as often as possible. For me, that was once a week, and I've realized that I can do much more when I visualize more often. So reading and visualizing that clear vision as often as possible, and then asking for downloads from God or from the universe and letting the synchronicities and the coincidences take place, allowing myself to be guided by these thoughts, ideas, and little synchronicities, and taking action, not being afraid to move on them. Guys, there is no reason that you can't have everything you want in the exact way you want it, in the exact timelines you want it, or even faster. Watch this video, and I hope it inspires you to do the same work. Guys, my brand new book, Consciouspreneur, is here. You can get it anywhere you buy books. Just go on Amazon or Indigo or Barnes & Noble or anywhere else and type Consciouspreneur book, and you will find it. I hope you enjoy.
So this is my wife and I. Those of you who aren't Canadian, we have this big cabin culture. This culture in Canada where we leave the city in the summer and go to our cabins because our summers are short, and I guess that's how we get through it. That's how we get through those tough winters, is because we know the cabin's coming. Both my wife and I grew up in families that didn't have cabins, but we would rent cabins for a week or 2 weeks in the summer with our family. And when this piece of land came up for sale, this opportunity came up to buy a piece of land, we thought, let's buy the land and then let's build a cabin. We'll take out a builder's mortgage, we'll build a cabin on it, and we'll rent the cabin out, and then we'll use it for a couple weeks a year, just like our families did, except we'll own it. Well, anyone's ever tried to build something? It's a bit of a mess. It's pretty difficult, lots of red tape, lots of bureaucracy. So we bought this in 2022, and in December 2023, we were doing our vision planning for the year of 2024, and we both agreed that what we wanted was just a usable cabin, like something we could use by the winter time that we could enjoy. So we just needed a shell, basically. And so I did what Craig teaches, and I wrote the movie script. You know, I wrote my vision, our vision for 2024, and I did what I'm going to teach you. And fast forward to the spring and summer, we put a trailer, like a camper trailer on here, no running water or anything like that, but just so that we could go out and enjoy it. We loved the space. We wanted to enjoy being out of the city and all those things. And we got to know our neighbors at the cabin here. So the neighbors next door, they owned the cabin next door and the one across the street, and they Airbnb'd it. They were an older couple, they were entrepreneurial, and they rented out their cabin. So we got to know them, and every single Saturday, I would visualize that vision. I would read the vision, I would visualize it, I would feel all the feels, and I could paint the picture for you right now of what was in that vision, what was in that movie in my mind. Now, 2 weeks after we set that vision in December of 2023, at this very event in January last year in Cancun, my wife called me up to my room and showed me a positive pregnancy test. Why do you think I possibly had an anxiety attack at the event last year, Galal? So that changed things. That sped up things, right? September 22nd, that was it. We had to build this cabin before that. Little did I know that the nesting phase actually begins much earlier than the due date. So mid-July rolls around and nothing has moved the way we wanted it to move because of red tape, because of expenses, because of all of these things. And we discussed that it was not going to be in the cards to build the cabin in 2024, which was devastating to my vision. Devastating to what we had planned and the timelines we had planned it. So the next Saturday I was visualizing, and I felt this sadness wash over me of, we're not going to make it happen in the timelines we had set. And I said, audibly said, I guess the universe doesn't work on my timelines. I guess I don't get to choose the timelines. 2 hours, I'm not lying to you, 2 hours after I said that, our neighbor from the cabin called my wife. He didn't even have my number. And he said, I have an interesting opportunity for you guys, call me back. We called him back, and he said, we've had enough conversations to know that you guys want to build a cabin. We know they've asked us, we know what it's going to cost you. We are looking to sell our cabin, the one that's next door to you, and we would love to sell it to you because we're still going to own the one across the street. We want you guys to be neighbors. We know you're going to take good care of it. We want to sell it to you without realtors, and we want to sell it to you fully furnished. And we know the price point that you need it to be at, and we want to sell it to you for that price point. If you would have asked us to draw the cabin we wanted, which we did because we were trying to build one, we pretty much would have drawn this cabin. It's a small cabin, it's got 3 bedrooms and a bathroom, it's got a massive sunroom. He was a deck builder, so he built this $50,000 sunroom on it and a massive deck. And we took possession of that cabin on November 15th, 2024. Here's the lesson. The universe does not work on our timeline. It works faster. It works faster if we allow it to. But we spend so much time blocking it with fears and limitations and narratives and stories and bullshit, frankly, that we think it needs to work a certain way. But it doesn't. Because what I'm going to teach you and what you need to learn is that everything you want is already done and already on its way to you. Grant Cardone has a wonderful saying. It's one of my favorite things. He always says, who has my money? Who has my money? And what he's saying is, when somebody pays you money, they don't print new money. That money was already in circulation and it was already in someone else's bank account. Right? The money was already there. So here I am standing on this lot, going, please let me go through this horrific and expensive process of trying to pour a foundation, dig a holding tank, build a cabin, work with contractors who are completely unreliable. And the cabin was 40 feet away from me, already built.